All right, and welcome back to Sports Talk with Love. Today, I will be giving some predictions for the upcoming college football season. Yesterday, I gave three predictions. Those teams were Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama. I'm probably going to just group those teams' videos together and just upload it later, but basically, I had Ohio State going 11-1, Texas going 10-2, and Alabama going 9-3. But with that being said, let's get into predictions. And the first team up is Georgia. So, on the first game of the schedule for Georgia, Georgia has Tennessee State. Obviously, I'm going to give them the W there. Then they're going to host Western Kentucky. They're going to get the win there before going into an early season matchup on the road at Arkansas. I think they will pull out the W there. Then they're going to be at home against Oklahoma. That's going to be a very good game, probably a very good defensive game as well. I think Georgia's going to sneak out one there. Then they're going to be at home against Vanderbilt. How will Vanderbilt look after a year after having their best season in program history? I think Georgia's going to get the W there. Then they're going to go on the road at Alabama. I said that Alabama has generally owned Bama in the regular season. I think that's going to change, and I think Georgia's going to get the W here. Then they're going to have the Deep South's oldest rivalry hosting Auburn, and they're going to go into their bye week undefeated 7-0. Before coming out that bye week for the it's called the Invesco Atlanta Gridiron Classic on the schedule, but it's the world's largest cocktail party. I think they're going to get the win here. Then, potential trap game on the road at Ole Miss. Last time they went to Ole Miss, they lost. That was 2024. It was a rainy game if I can remember. Um, I genuinely went back and forth. This might be one of those games that Kirby Smart and the team just don't show up for. So I think Ole Miss will get the W here. Then they're gonna get the win at home against Missouri. Then they're gonna have another potential trap game on the road in Columbia against South Carolina. Now I don't think South Carolina is gonna be that great, but again, this is college football. Home atmospheres can change anything, especially with this being the penultimate week of the college football season. But I think Georgia will prevail and get the W here, and then they'll be at home against Georgia Tech, where they will beat the Yellow Jackets, and they will finish the year 11-1, potentially playing for an SEC championship. I got to see how the standings look, but I think they will finish the year 11-1. Now let's talk about Michigan. And when I first looked at Michigan's schedule, the first thing that caught my mind is they only have 4 road games this entire year. 4 road games. In fact, the first month of the year, they're going to be at home. So, Michigan, they're going to have very few road tests. However, the road tests that they have this year are probably going to be the two best teams in the conference. So, let's just look at the schedule. They're going to be at home against Western Michigan. They're going to get the win there. Then they're going to have a team from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners. I think they will beat Oklahoma. Then they're going to be at home against UTEP. They're going to get the win there. Then they're going to be at home against Iowa, and this is where I think they're going to drop their first L of the year, falling to 3-1, before eventually having their first road trip in the month of October. Is it October? Yes, in the month of October. I think they will beat Minnesota. Then they're going to come back home. They're going to play Penn State. They're going to get the win against Penn State. At home against Indiana, close game, but I think Indiana will prevail. Then they're going to head to Rutgers, where they will get another W. Then at home against Michigan State, their in-state rival, if you want to call them that. They're going to get the win against them. Then they're going to be at Oregon. I think they're going to drop their second L of the year, falling to not 9-2, 8-2, before beating UCLA at home and then having the game at the Ohio State. And I think they will drop that game against Ohio State, falling down to 9-3 in Kyle Whittingham's first year at Michigan. Looking at Miami's schedule, this is an at best undefeated schedule, and at worst should be an 11-1 schedule. But let's just predict the games. They're going to be at Stanford week 1. I think they're going to get the win. They're going to beat Florida A&M. I think it's going to be a close game, early season matchup at Wake Forest, but they will get the win. Then I think they will beat Central Michigan before having a big game at Death Valley at Clemson. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I do think Miami will prevail and get the W. Then they're going to have their in-state rival, Florida State. They're going to win. Then they're going to host Pitt. And then we're getting into Mario Cristobal type of game. At North Carolina, I think they win. I do think they will drop a game to Notre Dame, and at this point, they will be 8-1 on the year. Now, will Mario Cristobal be able to finish the year 11-1? I don't think so. I think they're going to beat Duke. I think they're going to lose to Virginia Tech. And the memes are going to be out there because, Big Game James can never beat a top 10 team. At this point, I think Miami will be a top 10 team. I think James Franklin and Virginia Tech are going to get the W there. And of course, the one top 10 team that James Franklin is able to beat is, of course, Mario Cristobal. Then they're going to close out the year at home against Boston College, and I think they're going to get the W. They're going to be 11-1, probably playing for an ACC championship. I don't know how the standings will look. I don't know the ACC tiebreakers, especially now with certain teams playing 8 games, certain teams playing 9 games. I haven't even given a look because just bring back divisions and then all of this should just be simple. But yeah, I think Miami will finish the year 11-1. No, 10-2. Sorry. Now LSU. Now LSU will start off the year 2-0. They're going to beat Clemson and they're going to beat Louisiana Tech. But then Lane's going to have his homecoming to Ole Miss, where I think they will drop the game to Ole Miss. After that, they're going to beat Texas A&M. They're going to beat McNeese. They're going to beat Kentucky. They're going to beat Mississippi State, and they're going to be 6-1 after the midpoint after the midpoint way of the season, where I think they're going to lose a trap game at Auburn. So they're going to be 6-2, hosting Alabama. They're going to get the win. Hosting Texas, they're going to get the win. 8-2. Their final 2 games are going to be on the road though, at Jordan Hare. No, what's Jordan Hare? No, Jordan Hare is Auburn. Neyland Stadium is Tennessee. I think they're going to have a close game at Tennessee, but they will pull it out. And then they're going to close out the season at Arkansas, where they will get the W and finishing the year 10-2. Now let's look at Notre Dame. Now Notre Dame, the magic number is 10 wins. If you win 10 games, most likely you will be ranked in the top 12, which with the new rules this year grants you an automatic bid into the CFP. So let's just go down the schedule. You're going to have Wisconsin to kick off the year. Week 1, I think you're going to get the win. You're going to have Rice. I think you're going to get the win. You're going to have Michigan State. I think you're going to get the win. Then you're going to go to Purdue. You're going to win that. You're going to go to North Carolina. You're going to win that. You're going to be at home against Stanford. You're going to win that. Then you're going to get your first tough test of the year. You're 6-0. You're going to BYU. I think you guys beat BYU. Then your bye week, you're going to have your annual game with Navy. You're going to get the win. Then you're going to host probably an undefeated Miami team at home in prime time. That will be a win for you guys. And then you're going to finish off the year with the win at home against Boston College, a win at home against SMU, and a win at Syracuse. And you're going to finish off the year, I think, 12-0. Probably ranked number 1 in the country. Now, Clemson, one of college football's biggest fall from grace, once a national title contender. Now they're just contending for a playoff spot. But first game of the season, they're going to LSU. I think they're going to lose that game, but they will win their next 3 games against Georgia Southern, North Carolina, and Cal before dropping a game to Miami. But listen, that game will be close. Then they're going to go into their bye week. Then they're going to get a cupcake game against Charleston Southern. They're going to get a W there. Then they're going to get a who knows Virginia Tech team with James Franklin at the helm. But I do think they will beat Virginia Tech before going to Florida State, Tallahassee, and losing. Then they will come back. They're going to head to Syracuse. They will get the win at Syracuse before coming back home again and taking a loss to Georgia Tech. Then they're going to finish out the year with a win at Duke and beating their in-state rival South Carolina to finish the year 8-4. With that being said, if you got this far in the video, thank you. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I have more prediction videos coming tomorrow, most likely, if not something came up. And then soon, well, not fairly soon, in a couple of weeks or so, I am gonna put out my ceiling and floor predictions for the NFL. So thank you. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and also comment down your thoughts below on my predictions and where you think these teams will fall. Thank you.